you're not going to get 100% success rate if you do collect cherry stones from wild cherry trees. Obviously the stones aren't going to be exactly like the parent plant, but these I'm going to pot on are ones that I got last summer, and after eating the cherries, got to the stone, and when it had dried out, I split it with a little vice, and I kept the seeds very cold, and then over winter I put them in the pot, this pot, and I would say probably about maybe 20% of them have actually sprouted. And of these, I don't know how many will make it beyond it, but I'll put them in under cover in pots. Sometimes lifting them damages the root, but let's see what happens. They're all at various stages. You can see how they develop as they start growing. But hopefully, out of these, at least I might actually get one cherry tree. You never know; it might be as good as a parent plant. This is what they look like when they're just sprouting. See? I'll try and get an angle right. So I should have a good few, maybe even 4 or 5 won't make it from this lot.
Fruits such as damsons, which come from specimen trees, produce a smaller fruit than a plum, but they're often very heavily cropping. So if you want to get a seed from them, these are ones that have actually been, the fruit has actually been in my freezer, which shouldn't really do any harm to the seeds, and these are ones which have been from these. You've got a number of choices. We're going to try 2 ways of doing it. You should really wear safety glasses for doing this, and be careful because these tools can be dangerous if you're not supervised by an adult. And for these here, of course, you can cause damage to yourself if you're not using a nutcracker properly. Here I'm just going to split this carefully, and you can hear it go and crack. There you go. And inside this damson here, you should see the little seed. Now be very careful now, and just gently break that away. And there's your seed. And there you have a damson seed. Now my advice would be, because it's springtime now, that would need to be potted out, probably in the cold. I tend to put them in soil rather than compost. Although you can try compost, but whatever you do, do not do what I've done in the past. Do not overwater them, and don't expect all of them to sprout. But having found that the cherry stones that I split by this method using a vice or a nutcracker, I've had some success. About 40% of them actually sprouted, and I'm potting those on to see what I get. But of course, with anything you get from a seed, just because the parent was a heavy cropping plant, it doesn't mean to mean the seed is, and particularly so supermarket varieties. But this particular damson came from a beautiful specimen tree that was probably at least 30 or 40 years old, and is a heavy cropper. I'm not sure whether the seed will be viable, but it's certainly worth a try. Okay, so I've basically cracked this particular seed case. You can hear it's gone, so it's weakened it. There we are. And inside there, you look carefully, there should be the seed. And if I take this apart, there we are, and it's fallen into my bowl down there, which I put beneath. So I've got my seed. There it is there. And these seeds are the type of seeds, if you're using cherry, you get very, very small round ones. But these can be from things such as gauge plums, or things which you want to work on. Damson being a good example.
These are strawberry plants that you can buy from some discount shops, but you can't plant them out as they are, because you can see the leaves are very, very small, very juvenile, and they would just be eaten overnight by monster slugs. And I've got one, I made a mistake of planting these out actually, but I've had to rescue. Couldn't find the other 2, so I presume the stalk's been eaten. If you're lucky, there might well be a little bit of stalk left on the other one. I'm just soaking the roots, and I'm going to plant them out today. This is my orange blossom, and it's survived the winter. I don't know how. Got a couple of these. In the background you can hear the Mike Myers bird. Here we have very, very small baby snail, and this one on the side of a plant pot. He's looking at me there from his little eyes and his antenna. Oh.